not the RFC connection types. It's a RFC types. So RFC connection types we know. So it's a R3 connection, HTTP connection, so external connection, internal connection, TCP, IP connections. We have types of connections are there. But in SAP, there is a one more concept. So there is a theoretical as well as the practical concept that is called the types of RFC. Types of RFC configurations we have here. So what is this types of RFCs here, right? So there are the four types of RFCs we have here, right? One is the synchronous RFC, synchronous RFC here. Synchronous RFC. The second one is called the asynchronous RFC, async RFC. The third one is called the transactional RFC here. So transactional RFC. The fourth one is called the queued RFC. So queued RFC here. They are the four types of RFCs we have here, right? So not the connection types. RFC connection type means it's a different concept. So but types of RFCs means there are the four types of RFCs here. So synchronous RFC means, so here the first one synchronous RFC. Synchronous RFC means requires both the systems should be available at the time of communication or data transfer time. Both the systems are should be available here. This is the normal RFC connection type which we are creating in the SM59 transaction code here, right? So what will happen here? So this is the source system. Okay, this is the target system here, source and target. So source will send the data to the target, right? It's while sending the data to the target system must be available. Target system must be available at the time of communications. At the time of communications, the target must be available here. Then source will send the data to the target. Target will send the acknowledgement back to the acknowledgement back to the source saying that I received the transaction. Then again, source will send the one more transaction to the data. Then again, it will send the acknowledgement back to the here. So in this way, there is a consistency data transfer between two systems. Then without any data miss, the data will be transferred to the source to target system here. So it requires both the systems should be available at the time of the communication or data transfer here, right? So this means acknowledgement and data is consistent and reliable for the communications data and everything here. The issues are if in case of the target system is not available, the source system resources wait until the target system is available. Then in that case, the source system resources will go to the sleep mode or so some data loss, this kind of things here, right? So that is the synchronous RFC, which means synchronous RFC, the straightforward. It will send the data to the transfer target will receive and send the acknowledgement back to the source system saying that I received it. Then only it will send the second data to the second data to the secondary. Otherwise it will source system will wait for com confirmation, means acknowledgement from the source target system here. That is the main thing here. So it is used for the communication between the system here. So that is the main thing here. The second one is the asynchronous RFC here. Asynchronous RFC means here where the acknowledgements are not required here. It's kind of a source system will send the source, means this is the first system. Source will send the data to the target, but source will not bother about my target will receive or not. It will not bother. Why? Because it does not require both the system to be available at the time of execution. The results are not immediately required to the results means whether it is received or not, it's not required to be source. Means acknowledgements are not required. That's why asynchronous communication means acknowledgements are not required. Means source will not bother about my target system received the data which I sent to the target, whether it's received or not, it will not bother, which means these acknowledgements are not required here. So in this way, source continuously will sending the data, but whether it's not required, whether my target is received or not, so it will not wait. So it will keep on sending the data to the here. So it's kind of a postcard delivery. It kind of a postcard delivery here. So means whenever you send the postcard delivery, so postcard delivery, not sure whether it will receive or not, maybe last or parallel many times, many days. So it's kind of a postcard delivery here. Acknowledgements are not required here for this type of communication, asynchronous communication here. So asynchronous communication, acknowledgements are not required. Okay, that is the async RFC here. So here synchronous RFC, acknowledgements are required. In the synchronous RFC, the asynchronous RFC, this communications are required. The synchronous RFC acknowledgements are required. Async acknowledgements are not required here. Right? That is the one thing here. Next one is the transactional processing. Transactional processing. It's a special form of the asynchronous RFC. It's an advanced version of the asynchronous RFC here. So the transactional RFC ensure the transactions are processing. So the transactional processing correctly are not here. Any duplicates means it in this RFC mechanism, it will avoid the duplicate processing. It will avoid the duplicate processing here. So when sending the data from source to target, it will assign a one transaction ID. So it will assign a one transaction ID here. The transactional RFC, it will assign a one transactional ID here. So this transactional ID is a so when the it will when sending the data to the here, it will assign the one transaction ID, right? Using this transaction ID, data will enter into the target system here. In case of this data already received by so target from source, then it is a duplicate data, right? It will detect as a duplicate data. The data already exists in the target, something like that. You will get the one so error message in the source side, one error message in the source side here. That is the transactional RFC, which means data will send to the source to target, but while sending the data, it will assign a one transactional RFC, transactional ID. It will be assigned here, right? So it's kind of a registered post. This is a normal postcard. This is kind of a registered post. For registered post, there is a ID will be generated, right? Registered ID. So similarly, so here also there is a so it will assign the transactional ID. Same thing from this one both are same. Asynchronous RFC, transactional RFC, but only difference is here. So this will assign the one transaction ID, so that what will happen? The duplicate data will be not sent to the target system here due to some network issues and everything. The duplicate data will not send to the duplicate data will not send to the target system here. It is called the transactional RFC, right? So it's same kind of TRFC is similar to the ARFC, as it does not wait for the target system to be available, but it will assign a one transaction ID. As soon as the target system is available, it will send the data to the so target system here. So in case of any network issues or something, the data already received, again it will sending the data, but there is a transaction ID already assigned, right? Then so we can see, sir, can we see this one? Yes, the transactional ID for asynchronous are the internal connections. There is no transaction codes to see it here. But the transactional RFC, there is a transaction code. SM58 is the transaction code. There we can see are there any transactional RFCs are stuck in the system or not. We can see it here. Anything is stuck in the system or not. We can see it here. Right? So here we can see the all the information here, right? So there is a one transactional RFC got stuck here, right? Transactional RFC, right? Which is, see, there is a ID, transactional ID got assigned here. This is sending to the which one? There is a target system. There is a none. None is the one of the RFC destination connecting to the target system. None. So via this RFC destination. So which means this is the internal RFC destination. It is trying to send the data sent to the internally via transactional RFC. So, but it's not sending. So it got transaction is recorded. It got stuck in the 9th, 12th month. I think last month. Okay. So the data got stuck here. So in that case, what we can do, we can try to execute the LUW here, right? So error, format error here. So it got error. So then functional team will take care of this format errors. Any RFC connections, system down situations, we will take care of. Any format data error or anything, so they will take care of that part here. Okay. So this is not the our fault here. So one transactional RFC got stuck. So here, as part of our regular duty, we have to come to the SM58, check the are there any in the production systems. We have to check the are there any failed transactional RFCs are failed. So the data, why? Because in the data in the system level, there are a lot of transactions will happen. So some transactions internally will store into the database level, some transactions will pass to the some other different departments, different systems, different CR different systems. It will pass the transactions. So in case of that type of transactions got stuck here, if the transactions got stuck here, so then we can see it here. If anything is got stuck, we can see it here. Then if required, we can try to reprocess the LUW. Normally we will call it as a LUW. So the logical unit of work. So then in case of we want to proceed, we can process like that. We can progress the transactions and everything. We can see it here, right? So this kind of transactional RFCs, we can see it in the SM58. So which means when sending the data to the target system, there is a one ID will be allocated. One ID will be allocated here. So that is called the transactional ID. This is the transaction ID here. So this is the data which is in the binary code format. So we cannot see what is the data here, right? So this is the binary code format data. So so system can read the data here. So that is the transactional RFC here. So it's an advanced version of the ARFC. So, but it does not wait for the acknowledgement from the secondary as well here. Means the second system as well here. It's keep on sending the data. In case of second system is not available, the transactions will wait here. The transactions will wait here. So then it will stuck in the source system itself. In case of as soon as the target is available, it will keep on sending the data to the target. In case of data error, some format error, we need to look at that part here. Okay, that is called the transactional RFCs. The next one, queued RFC. Queued. Queued means queue wise data will be transferred here. This is the transactions wise ID will be assigned. This is the queue wise. Queue is a extension of the transactional RFC. This is the advanced version of the transactional RFC only here. So this will ensure the queued RFC all the steps are processing in a order to guarantee that multiple transactions are processing in a order by the application. So that can be done using the queued RFC, QRFCs here, right? QRFC here. So this is the next advanced version of this one here, which means here all the steps are going in a order or not. Means system is sending the data to the target system in a order. Sometimes what happens, some steps transaction, it will be divided into the steps. Sometimes the steps has to send into the order wise, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, like that. So the steps will be executed. So it's sending to the data in a steps or not. So that will be done by the queued RFC. That will be done by the queued RFC here. In this way, we can say it will to guarantee that multiple steps, multiple transactions are processed in a order that is specified by the applications. It are sending the order. It will use the serializing using the queues via queues in a order. It will send the data to the target. It will send the data to the target here. There the two types of queues are there. One is the inbound queues, right? The second one is the outbound queues, inbound queues and outbound queues here. Inbound queues and outbound queues are here, right? The data transferring to the target from source to target. So via queue wise, it will send the data to the here, right? So outbound, which is going outside of the system, right? Inbound, which is coming inside of the system here. So suppose if you take the system here, if you take the system here, there is a one system here, source system here. There is a one more system. There is a target system here. Suppose for example BW or ECC, right? Inbound, which is coming inside. Inbound system means in, which is coming inside of the system. Outbound means which is going outside of the system. Then inbound, then outbound, out, which is going outside of the system. Every system there is a in and out, right? So what will happen here? The transactions, the people will do the transactions here. So this transactions required to go outside. Then via outbound, it will go to the other system inbound. Then it will come to internal system. Then from here, the data transfer, some logical, some statement, something will be executed. That will be executed again. The same data will go to the via inbound. Then again, it will go to the again it will go to the again it will come to the this system here. Again it will come to the in this system here, right? So like this, multiple systems will be involved here. Multiple systems will be involved here. Like this way, the data transfer will happen to the target system here. Data transfer will happen to the target in a sequence wise, order wise, queues wise. So while queue wise means queue means in a specific order, right? Order wise, it will send the data to the target system here, right? So like this is called the outbound. This is called the outbound here, out, which is going outside of the system. This is called the inbound here, inbound, which is coming inside of the system here. Inbound means which is coming inside of the system here. Inbound system here. Inbound and outbound. Inbound, outbound. Suppose something is happened here, which is going to the outside of the system, means how it will connect to the outside of the system via RFC connection, right? Via RFC connection, it will send the data to the here. So when outbound means via RFC destinations. So here the transaction codes for this outbound inbound is SMQ1 and SMQ2. SMQ1 and SMQ2 here. Here we can see the are there any entries got stuck or not here. So SMQ1 is for the outbound here, right? Which is out, which is going out. Out means outside of the system here. Then SMQ2. Q2 is like a inbound here, inbound, which is coming inside of the system here. If entries got real time, there is a entries will stuck here. Queues and entries will stuck here. Those things we have to process it here, right? Those things we have to process it here. That's called the SMQ1, SMQ2, inbound and outbound queues here. SMQ2 here, right? So SMQ1, SMQ2, the entries get stuck here, right? Sir, where to define the queue here? Where to define the queue? So RFC destination, we know SM59 we can create it. But inbound queues, which is coming inside of the system, which is going outside of the system here, right? System means definitely the transactions flow should happen from inside and outside also, right? That is the server. Server means the transaction should happen from the within the system, then it should go to the outside, and also same system should receive the transaction from the other system. That is the business. That is the business here. So in this case here, system sending the data to the outbound, then it will via RFC destination, it will connect to the target system, then it will, the target will receive the transactions in a order, then here some records or something will happen, then again it will go to the source system or different system it will go. So multiple inflows and outflows here. Sir, where can we define and where can we see whether the init entries got stuck or not here? So to create the inbound queues and outbound queues here we need to do the queues registration. SMQR and SMQS are the transaction codes. Here we can do the registration of the queues here. Suppose like queues normally XB star queues, right? Then XC star queues, right? X. So normally functional team will define these queues here, right? So order wise they will define the X may be common sometimes. Sometimes they will like MCEX star queues here. Sometimes they will define. So queues will they will define inbound, which is coming inside of the system. So here the routing will be defined by them. They will ask us to create the queues. The queue name is called the XB star, XA star, XC star, MC, XQs. Some normally used naming queues. They will ask us to create it here. Here we have to create it here. The queue name we have to define it here, right? That one we have to define it here. Via these queues, data insertion will happen in the same system. So suppose if you take the SMQ as outbound queues, out means which is going outside of the system. Outside means definitely there is a RFC destination, right? Then what is the RFC destinations which you are going to create it here, right? NW1 system, right? Then there is a registration. Then respect to RFC destinations, you have to give it here. Then ECP system, right? Then which system? Then which are the systems you have to send the data here, right? These all are the RFC connections. Then RFC connections you have to define it here. Means data is going out, queue out, queue out scheduler. Via this scheduler, data will go via this RFC destinations. This RFC destinations data will transfer to the out, right? Sir, where can we check whether the data is going or not, or any failed entries or anything or not? If you go to SMQ1, here we can check the any entries get stuck here. Here we can see that if something you found here, some data got stuck means here data entries. If you see something data got stuck means here, so data not flowing to the outbound. Outbound means which is going to other system via RFC destination. So then we need to check what is the error messages here. Is it a data error or data issues? Then definitely the team will take care of. If any connection issue, is there any RFC destination is not working, then target system is down. So that kind of things we have to check it out. Any network issues between the systems, that kind of things we have to check it out here. So real time there the number of entries will get stuck here because of the queued RFC. There is a number of entries will get stuck in the systems here.
Just one question, Ravi. That day we transfer the data with the RFC only, right, from source to target. Then why is the necessity of this? Uh,
Order wise via orders queues. There is a
okay.
necessity of the sending the data in a sequence, sometimes in a queue order. That's why we have the queued RFC. So sometimes only transactions. Then SM58, there is no order is not required. Some transactions. That time that related transactions will go via so this RFC only. Okay, this transactional RFC it will go this. Sometimes it is does not require any order, any sequence is fine. But duplicate data will not send to the target. That time, which each and every data it will assign the one transactional ID by the system. So sometimes you may have to send the data in a sequence, order wise, steps wise. The transaction will split into the some steps, step one, step two, step three. That kind of steps will it should go via so order wise only, sequence wise. Then in that case, So step 1 will execute today, step 2 tomorrow, step 3 day after tomorrow. That time sometimes it may execute it. So that time you may have to send the data in a queues order wise. So order means the queued RFC will come into the picture. So that is the functional requirement. Based upon the functional team will define the order, which order this data should go. So based on that it will go. It's not in our control. We only, as per the basis side, we only have to go SMQ1, SMQ2 check are there any entries got stuck in the system or not as part of the day-to-day activity. Yes, some entries are got stuck. So try to reprocess. Some organizations you don't need to reprocess it also. We have to inform to the functional team. Some organizations you have to reprocess. Even though it is failing, that time you need to involve the functional team to check what is the error in the message as data fault related errors here, right? That is the main thing here. Okay.
So every time we need to do that inbound and outbound registration.
In case of they asked us to create that one, yeah, we have to do that one.
Okay.
System is already functioning from the several years, then that time it does not require. But it's newly the system went to the go live. So newly went to go live means the business is keep on increasing. So definitely we may get the chance to register the queues. We have to do that. But monitoring that every day we have to take care of that part here, monitoring part.
Okay.
So that day we transfer the data from source to target through RFC, right? In the same way, we need to transfer, but this time target RFC, that RFC is having that uh, queue connection, right?
Queue
Queue.
connections. Yeah, it will go to the, it will enter into the target via RFC only. But thing is,
Okay.
how it is going via order wise, queues wise. So
Mhm.
it will finally it will touch the RFC only. Everything, if you are going to the target, the data is going to the target via RFC only. But it will use the queues to transfer the data. It will use the queues. Then via queues, it will enter into the system like that. It will go.
So queue level troubleshooting, where we can do
Queue level
like we.
troubleshooting in the same transaction codes only we can see the all the information. In
Okay.
SMQ1, SMQ2 only, here it will display the error information. So one screen same in SM58, how we can
Mm.
see the all the information queues. So we can see the all the details here. We can see the details in the short text. Based on that, we can find out. So sometimes it will create the some dumps in the ST22. So you need to investigate the dumps, why the dumps are occurring here, right? So there is a same. See here in SM58 when we are processing the transaction, there is a dump got occurred here. So the some container is missing. No further container found to process this one, right? So there is a format error. There is a format error. So like this, we can see it in the SMST22, SM21. So some logs we can find out here. So all the information we can see it here. Why the transactions, why the calls are failing. See here who registered this one registered, queues registered. So we can find out some informations we can find out here. SRST22, SM21, right? These transaction codes. So they are the some general transaction codes for the, so there are some general transaction codes here, SAP. So basis side. So as you know, those transaction codes like SE11, SE11 means you know, right? SE11 means the tables viewing the data in the table. So create the entries in that table. So SE11 or SE16, we can see the tables data. If any data you want to see, suppose like data will store into the database level. So I want to see the data from application. Then you need to use the SE11 to SE16. You can put the table name, any one of the table name, whatever the table name you know. So then you can put the table name. So you can see the entries, how many entries are there in the table, what is the data is there in the table, all the information we can see it here. All the information we can see it in the table here. Why? Because each and everything, whatever you are doing in the application level, that will be stored as a in that table in the entry here, right? So this one we know SA38, SE38 are for the programs and reports executions and everything. Same SE11, SE6, that those things, right? So some known transaction codes which will be helpful for the our basis side. So SE11 to SE16 view the table data, and SA38 to SE38, that is for the programs or reports execution and everything, creations and executions, we can see it here. Okay, that is the one. And SM59, so then there is a SM30, that is called the table maintenance. SM30 view or maintain the table maintenance, means edit. We can do the editing of the tables and everything here. If you go to the SM30, so here you can just directly enter the any table, whatever the table. So just click on the maintain the table. If the table is in the maintenance flag set, we can edit it here. Those tables we can edit it in the systems here. Edit it in the systems here. Those related tables, some custom tables, which means our developers who will create the tables, some tables we can edit it, some entries, some structure, some entries we can delete, we can edit, that kind of things we can do it in the SM30. We can see that kind of related things, we can see it here. Those tables editing and everything we can see it here, right? So then, so functional module, if any functional module you want to execute, then SE37 is the transaction code. We can see that is called the functional module. So this is also above pairs. So sometimes, so SAP will ask you to execute the functional modules or something. So that time you have to go to the SE37. You need to put the whatever they have given the functional module name. You need to get that functional model, then you need to execute it here. You need to execute it here. You need to execute the functional module here. This one we have to execute it here. That's why we can see the code also here, right? So this is the way we can execute the functional module executions. We can perform it here, right? So it will give you the reports, then you can just execute it here. So then it will add the entries in the some table, something like that here, right? Each functional module here. So if any functional module they ask you to execute, SE37 is the transaction code. You can see it here. SM30, SM30, SM37 are the table view maintenance here. Call for table view and maintenance, we can see it here, right? So that is the some other general transaction codes we will use it. Apart from that, what you required now, SE37, that is fine. SM50, SM12, we discussed SMICM also, SM13, we discussed SM51, that is also fine, active application servers. So then SM02, one more transaction, SM01. SM01 is for the lock or unlock the transaction codes. Some of the transaction codes are the dangerous transaction codes. So we should not allow, you should not keep active, so you can lock it, those transaction codes. SM01. So SM02, system messages. You can keep the system messages here. If you go to the SM01 transaction code here, you can lock the some transaction codes here. If you go to the SECL, suppose like example, SECL, I want to lock it here, right? SECL, I want to lock it here. So then select it, click on the save button, then you lock the transaction code. When the people are trying to use the transaction code, it will say like the transaction code is locked. Means they cannot use the transaction code. They cannot use the transaction code here. So then again, you need to go to the SM01, then see the SCCL. Okay, then unlock. save it, then you can use it here. Lock or unlock the transaction code, which we can be do using this transaction code. Next one is the SM02 system messages. So actually, as a best practice, whenever you are going to down a system, whenever the activity is running in the system, what we can do, we can put a system message here. We can put a system message to inform everybody. We are not sure who already logged in. So then who are going to log in, the message should be displayed to everyone. There is a maintenance activity, or you are going to start the system. You are going to do the some activity in a couple of hours. System is going to down. So you need to inform. Then you can keep a system message like that. So just write the message here. I have. So system is going to restart in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So please save your work. Then so log out from the system. Log out from system. Just I put the some message here. So that what will happen, this message I will post to everybody. Then everybody who are in the system, they will get this messages. This message will be displayed in front of the screen here, right? In front of the screen, their message will be displayed. Who are there already, that will be displayed, and who are going to join. Like suppose I'm going to log into the system now. See what will happen, right? Immediately I got the message, system message pop up. I got it here, which means now I can come to know, okay, there is system is going to restart in the 10 minutes. So please restart your something like that. I got the message, right? So which means so you are informing to the everybody saying that system is getting restarted. So they will not raise any tickets or something here. So formally you are informing that after 10 minutes you are going to be restarted. That is the maintenance activities people will do, right? This way people will do this kind of maintenance activities here, right? SM01, SM02 here, right? So that is the one. So the next one, so SM13, 14 and some 13, 14, SMMS, message server. What are the other transaction codes are there?
Yes, sir. Here,
SBWP.
yes, sir. I have one question here. Suppose some T codes are not available, then how we can add that T codes?
Some custom T codes are not available. Custom means ABAPers. ABAPers has to develop those transaction codes here. Standard T codes definitely should be available as per their SAP version. It should be available. Some standards only it's not available means it's not your fault. It was the system version fault. So those things we have to suppose, like you see SM01 is available in the ECD. If I go to the some other NetWeaver systems, lower version systems here, then if you execute the SM01, the transaction code, sometimes the transaction codes will not be available, right? So depends upon the version mismatch. There is a one system previously. I think now it's working everybody. So that SM01 will not be available one system it will be available because the version mismatch and everything here. So there is a SPRO, the image, SAP reference image. So here, if you want to go to the SAP reference image, if you want to add, activate any functionalities, any services, if you want to activate it, then you can activate it here. Suppose they want to activate the gateway, just you can activate the gateway here, right? So if you want to deactivate something, you can deactivate it here. If they ask you to change some configurations, they will provide you the path. Then you can just provide the path here, initial configuration, then you can perform the initial configurations here. So that it depends upon if they ask you to do this one, you can do this one here. So SAP SPRO, normally functional transaction code, but sometimes they may ask us to do that one. So then they will provide you the So the references here, so means navigation. You have to go to the controlling, then you have to go to the general controlling, then go to the organization, maintain the controlling area, something like that. Naturally, this kind of thing they will perform it. But if they ask us to do, then we can perform it here. Okay. So this kind of things we have to do that one here, right? So SPRO, SAP reference image, IMG. Okay. The SAP reference IMG related activations, we have to do that one here. That depends. There is no particular things that depends based upon their activity and product. They may ask you to the sometimes they may ask you to activate this one here. So you may have to activate this one here. Okay. So and apart from that, what other things will come? Spam as those are the things will come. Security related security topics. S11 we discussed 3740. SICK, no, debuggers. Many are there, it will come. And there is a, yeah, one more thing, SM19 and SM20. SM20 and SM19. These are the transaction codes for the security audit enabling the security audits here. So here, if you go to the SM19 here, we can create the security audit things. We can create it. We can activate it here. Security audit parameters, everything we can activate it. As we see, sometimes people we are doing the some worst things in the system, the local client copies, remote client copies, they are locking the system, wrong passwords they are using, all those things they are doing. So we can track it here. We can create the one profile here, one profile we can create it here. We can so activate the all the dialog RFC, all the calls we can activate it here. We can activate the all the calls here, right? We can activate it here, right? This will be activated, right? This is activated now. Configuration is activated here. So if anything, audit classes, dialog login, RFC, transactions or anything, each and everything will be displayed here. Everything will be displayed in the systems here. Everything we have activated in the system. So now, so suppose like someone locked the user, then immediately we can check it out who locked it also here, their IP address also. Then immediately you can go to the SM20 here. So SM20, sorry, yeah, SM20 only. Go to the SM20. Here we can check the, so what time. If you know the timelines, that's fine. If you don't know the timelines or if you know the username, that's fine. You can check it out. So then just click on the reread the log here. Everything will be displayed here, right? So what happened here? So there is a person, basis person. This is the terminal, means client address, and this is the transaction code. This is the program backend executed. This person is inactivated, is activated, he done the some configuration changes in the system. So suppose if I what I will do here, I will log into the system. Is the same system, right? Where we activated NW1. Right. So here, just if you trace it here, I think here not activated everything. Not NW1, I think. ECD. Yeah, here we have activated SM20. We can see the audit related things here. We can check it out what happened in the system. So this is in the auditing. Auditing we have activated in the ECD. So now ECD, if you try to lock something in the system, auditing. So especially suppose like with a different user, if you tried a wrong password here. So wrong password you tried or something, let me try wrong password here. Maybe user will be locked if they try. So wrong password I tried. wrong password, second time I tried, wrong password, third time I tried, right? So if the user is locked in case, right? So DDIC something, wrong password I tried. So let me 5 times, right? If I tried it, then it will be 6 times, I guess. Yes. So user is locked. You see, user is locked. DDIC user is locked here. So now if I go and reread so check it out here, what's happening here, everything will be, so not this user, I will, so all the events, all the users, transactions, programs, and everything here. So remove this dates also here, this dates also here, the timings also you can read it here. Then just click on so everything will be tracked. So if we wait for some time, so whatever we have done it now, that will be tracked here. So which means for the particular person tries to use the wrong password, the user got locked or something like that, the information will be tracked in this screen here, which means auditing, security auditing related things we can see it here. Security auditing related things we can activate it here. It's not locked. Here it's locked. DDIC. Okay, DDIC. So it will be tracked here. SM19, SM20. Security related things here. Sometimes security people may ask you to. So basis team, could you please enable the auditing for the production system here? Right? So then, so based on that, we have to go to the SM19. So check what audit classes they have to activate, right? What audit classes we have to activate, check all the information and everything here, right? Check the configurations, check all those things, you can activate it here. So then once it is activated, then they will take care of. Why? Because security, right? Security breach means they will take care of who are doing what, and as part of their auditing, they will review the everything here. They will review the all the information, they will review it here in the screen. So this way they can find out the who are doing what, who are locking and who are unlocking. All the information will be tracked in this case here. They are tracked in this case here, SM19 and SM20. Okay. This is the auditing related transaction codes here. And we have some performance related transaction codes are available as part of the daily monitoring. So those things I will discuss with you tomorrow. Why? Because there are some important transaction codes. So those I will discuss with you tomorrow. Okay.
In SM01, can we lock specific T codes like particular for particular users?
Particular user, particular T code, we have to lock it. T code, if you lock it, other all users cannot able to access. That is the T code level. If you lock it, no one cannot able
Okay.
to access. But the particular user, they want to not to use the transaction code means, then we should remove the authorizations